Sky. I didn't think we'd be getting it right off the rip, but here we go. And
Yep.
game number 1 about to be underway. Envy and Renegades looking to kick things off. And at the very least, Dust, I'm just hoping they delivered like the last series did.
Yeah, I mean, basically, again, kind of what I was talking about earlier, Mummy is back on the Omen. I know they tried Caboose on it for a bit, but now Mummy is going to be back on it. Caboose will be back on a duels playing Reyna on this map. And then, yeah, Retro playing the Sage over Jet is definitely interesting. I know that he has been playing some Sage lately, so it's interesting to see it, though, always. No Jet in the server. That's something you don't see every day.
No, and I mean, Renegades, maybe contrary to popular belief, come out firing in this one. Pick up 3 kills early, open up the B side. They're not done yet, but Envy trade a couple back. The Ghosts start to come out on top. Now the spike planted, and a shot through the wall will net a bit of damage, but it should be healed up. No problem, since they have 2 heals. That feels so bad. The chip damage that you get doesn't amount to a whole lot. Is FNS able to pick that one up? Now a 2v2, both of them crowded the back of the site. It's all up to the new member in Strong Legs. He doesn't have much to his name except for a classic. He goes for the right click, doesn't find it, finds quite a bit of damage, and Crashies falls. Renegades grab round 1.
Indeed, they do. Renegades, you know that they are a very explosive team historically. They're very well known for their burst plays. Certainly, they can play default mid-control, but they really do like to just gather and pounce, and they are very effective at it. See them just kind of pouring in here. It did get close, to be fair. Put Strong Legs in kind of a tough 1v2, but he was able to isolate his battles very well. And so the newcomer to the team able to have some impact right off the rip. And it's kind of interesting because CP2 was always like really known to be like that like huge Sova player on this map, but having Strong Legs come in and be able to play that Sky kind of gives you some of the same aspects that Sova can give you with, you know, the Trailblazer kind of being used as a pseudo drone that can also stun. And then it kind of frees up someone else to be able to play the smokes to make up for Bergie no longer being on the team, who, you know, was like a big Omen main for them. It's CP2 on the Brimstone. Whereas, you know, Winsome's always kind of been that raised, so you're kind of expecting to see that. I would say that, you know, Randy Savage has normally been a Cypher player, but Killjoy is certainly coming more and more to the fold for a lot of different players. And so that's kind of just a breakdown of all that, as we are going to see them look to pounce here on A, and that Boombot is going to discover Caboose is in this corner, so he will be taken care of.
Yeah, that is a tough spot to be. They do quite a bit of damage, but again, they have 2 members that can heal. Unfortunately, you can't pick up res unless you have it. But Renegades trade them right back. Envy on the back foot, to be expected, but this is a force round, so this could net another one as Mummy picks it up. Just not enough, and Crashies back to the clutching ways, or needs to be in his clutching ways. He's able to find one, looking for another. Forced to reload now in the 1v2. Not able to take him down. Retro picks that one up. Doesn't leave it to Strong Legs, and Renegade grab another.
Indeed, they do. Force doesn't really work out there for Envy, so they will have to just go for the upgraded pistols coming into this next round. As they themselves are no strangers to the fast-paced, aggressive playstyle. And again, I think most people kind of know what to expect when you're playing against Renegades. It's about whether or not you can be effective in the fragging department. They definitely have some heavy hitters on this team, and Crashies, I really do feel, is one of the stronger, you know, supportive type players in our region, particularly on the Sova. So they definitely have some weapons.
The more that I played against Sky and watched Sky, the more I really disliked the agent and thought that, you know, very, very broken, too strong. But then I really started to appreciate, you know, what it means as the initiator, just like Sova. You kind of mentioned the Trailblazer being the drone, and obviously the flashes getting the information. Yeah, exactly. Like at first I felt, you know, that's kind of broken. Like it just tells you that they're there, but that is the job of the
Basically,
initiator.
you take breaches in Sova's DNA and you throw it to some weird splicer device, and Sky came out. Very much reminiscent of those 2 agents, as we are going to see Winsome trying to put some pressure on middle. Is going to get darted and forced back into Link. Food still holding that close corner position, but no one's committing his direction. Now the drone will come in and confirm Renegades are definitely gathered up in this B lobby area, but they're still kind of being halted a little bit.
Oh, nice hot hands to push FNS out, and not a whole lot to write home for this one as Envy just start to fall on this B
30
site.
seconds left.
Renegades once more. It is an eco. We nothing really to write home about, but
planted.
looking very strong here on their map pick, and not a whole lot to be found on the way out. They may have upgraded to Stingers. It looks like maybe a Frenzy in the hands of Caboose as he queues up the Lear. CP2 playing right outside the smoke.
enemy
Paranoia comes down. Winston trying to close the gap. It's all up to Mummy now in a 1v3. Just a pistol, and it's not enough. Renegades up 3-0.
Yeah, here comes the first full buy throw from Envy, and this is where they'll be able to contest a little bit better, I would imagine. No operator going to be in play for the Envy side of things. An operator was purchased over on Renegades. Or maybe it was sold back. I'm not really sure. It seems like it was. We're going to see 2 SMGs, 2 Bulldogs, and a Phantom. So just kind of carrying over what they have recycled from previous rounds, as well as getting a couple of rifles in play. They're going to go ahead and look to Boombot once again towards A main. Shut down pretty early this time, and a bit of a smoke put on that corner to make it a little bit harder for Winsome to peek freely here.
Oh, beautiful flash, and Caboose gets nothing. And Renegade, somebody gets to play gun game with the upgrade there, going from SMG to rifle. You will gladly take that as Food is able to trade one back. Now needs to hold it down. Mummy in the corner is able to get one as well, but it's traded right back, and Food still alive finally. This Phoenix, the flames are extinguished, but we are in a 2v2, make it a 2v1. It's Strong Legs again with the Seekers. Able to play off the jellyfish cabbages and gets enough information to head on over to B.
Jellyfish cabbages, huh? I mean,
There's something
that's
like
not
that.
a bad description, actually. They do kind of look like a crossbreed of jellyfish and cabbages. That'd be a really weird interaction. So you're going to see Crashies go ahead and deliver into the round, which is probably for the best because I don't know where I was headed with that. And so Envy, I mean, their initial plan kind of failed. Like, they were trying to set up a Paranoia out of Mummy to keep Caboose in that angle to strike, but the flash came before the Paranoia did and actually kind of exposed Caboose. But Food and Mummy were able to respond very quickly from their respective positions over towards Tree and Under Heaven, and ultimately put Strong Legs in a very difficult 1v2. So a really nice response there from Envy, as we're going to see another full buy round in play.
You know, the bonus didn't go the way of RNG, but that's A-okay. And again, it was Renegade's map pick, so I'm expecting Envy, since they selected defense, to really look to grab a handful of rounds here. So if Renegades can keep this up, obviously going into their defensive half, they'll be feeling pretty good about it. And what stunts a push better than the flashes from Sky? It's so frustrating.
Yeah, and Renegades is kind of showing you, again, they're a team that when they default, they don't always leave a player like at A lobby. They like to just do like more of the 1-4 play up middle. And so this is what they're going for here. A heavy-handed push up mid. They're going to get the res as well on Winsome. So they're going to have a 5-on-3 as they start pouring into this B side. Strong Legs getting the heals off on his teammates. So now they're all basically fully healthy and ready to go with a nice post plant here at that B site.
Yeah, and again, it just feels bad for Envy. They can't get any space, and to top it off, you get the res off here in round number 5. The flashes are coming through, and there's no answer. Retro looking to get aggressive, not able to spray down Food. Strong Legs to finish him off, and Mummy will find himself with an ult in hand with full HP and a kill now to his name, but I don't think you can expect a whole lot here. Renegades is so explosive.
Yeah, I mean, that really is their trademark. I think most teams started to notice it on Split whenever they would just have like Retro and Winsome as this entry duo, just like dashing and blast packing their way into particularly B set pieces on Split. And that's when you first started to kind of notice, okay, this Renegades team, they got this explosive nature to them. They kind of looked like a bit of a one trick on Split, but they've kind of developed their game on different maps, particularly on Ascent, where they've been able to start to pick up some results. And again, like you said, they're a very explosive team, but it's hard to know when it's coming because, again, like you always have to respect that they could be playing default. They certainly are capable of playing out of default, just like every other team is in the region, or really just across Valorant internationally. But they have this tendency to be able to just kind of 1-4 you, where they'll leave one side of the map unattended, and unless you play aggressive and figure that out early, you can't really prepare for just like 4 people to pounce on you right away. it comes down to either having to play a retake or having to stand your ground and out-trade them.
And now it's early in this one, but Renegades with the lead, and a whole lot of people in chat are counting them out into this, and I don't see why you wouldn't with Mummy playing like that. Caboose to find another, and still hanging out on this A site, completely locked down. CP2 corralled. There is nowhere to go for this Brimstone.
Yeah, he's going to the graveyard is the most likely location that he will find himself. He finds one along the way, but that's going to be about it. So Envy's starting to put the brakes on this aggressive Renegade squad who tried to go at the lockdown pounce on the A side, but Envy, again, you either have to play retake or you have to hold your ground and win the duels, and they did just that here.
Yeah. God, this lockdown defense here. Again, Reyna's and Stingers going hand in hand. The Valentine for Reyna is that Stinger in both series that we've seen thus far. I really like seeing not necessarily the duelists at the top as far as kills, but the plays from those controllers, right? The omens, those battle omens that are just fragging out, and you don't really expect it, but it means so much. It's kind of like Sabrosa. And we saw them in map number 2 really fragging out onto that sky.
Oh, they're
now
not
Booth,
checking.
a nice again. It was once in market, now once in mid. Booth finds 3, and he's looking for more. He finds a 4th, and again, Renegades find themselves on their last member, a 1v5 for Strong Legs. And I mean, welcome to the big show here. A flawless round for Envy. It's starting to come crumbling down.
And that's one of the shortcomings on not having a Sova drone. Is it's a little bit harder to kind of get those free clears on different corners before you start looking to push for that map control. And so Food is, again, kind of under the stone unturned. And is able to deliver a huge multi-frag just by a little bit of carelessness from our Renegades squad here. Still sitting pretty, though, overall. Still in the lead, but their economy now in the wind, and they're looking for that quick 5-man B-lobby play. It looks like they will be just looking to take these Stingers and pistols in close range. Seekers will lead the charge.
They do have to make it through a cage, so they can be completely sniffed out. Randy Savage, though, goes huge. Showstopper into the back, not going to find the kill, and it was on the run it back. So that is very favorable, and guess who? Mummy locking it down on B site this time around. Now Winsome got to go huge with 16 health, a Stinger, and a Boombot. Makes it a 1v1 at the close peak. That Lear not going to find the blind just yet. He has the spike in hand. Thank you, observers, for taking away the X-ray. The immersion is there, and Caboose will tie things up.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when Renegades strike, you know that they're following it up. You know, they're not necessarily going to pedal back and run some type of feint on you. They're going to try to overwhelm, and so that allows Mummy to pretty confidently know that he's in the right place at the back of that B site, and they can just kind of play off of each other. They did a great job stalling as well at the cage and various other pieces of utility to kind of set themselves up for the trades later on. And so that is going to even things out at 4-on-4. Mummy will now have the operator as well to put to use. I think he's going to look to try to maybe pick into B-Link. Retro constantly is slow orbing this angle, though, and not allowing them to kind of swing out and take that angle. And they even get some nade damage off this time as well.
Well, if you give Caboose an angle, all that nade damage could go by the wayside on that Reyna's Winsome. This time, we're going to make sure they do their due diligence to clear everything. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Quick mid control for Renegades. Again, this is the trademark of this team. It's just to take map control fast and follow it up quickly. They're trying to challenge a street position, but so far they haven't been able to really break through the smoke just yet. And now the wall will allow Caboose to escape, or at least it was designed to, but he's unable to take that last step around the corner. Now Renegades have a 5-on-4.
And Food hanging out in the smoke gives away his position, although the flash did not. Winsome gonna eat that paranoia now inside the dark cover as well. As Renegades, they actually, contrary to popular belief here, Dust,
they
make a hit one way and they backpedal on it.
They found the reverse gear. Now they're going to throttle on over to the B side. There is still Finesse and company, though, standing in wake, but Finesse has been eradicated, leaving Crashies all by his lonesome inside the site, but he's delivered one.
Oh. Crashies goes good for 2. Not before falling here. CP2 able to trade that kill. Now the spike's going to get planted. A little bit low on time. We're Renegades. And win some on a nice little flank here. Pushing through market. This B-side split from both sides. Mummy able to find one with the operator. Strong Leg stuck on the site here. It's all down to Food, who has been clutch, who has found multi-kills, but needs to do it in this one. Unfortunately, cannot. RNG reclaim a lead just when it looked like they were kind of losing control, Dust.
Yeah, that's the first time this half that they've pulled back on an attack and doubled to the other side, which I don't think, you know, Envy haven't had to deal with that just yet. I mean, it's a common thing you have to deal with in this game, but you haven't felt it yet in this match. Also certainly helped that they were able to get that initial pick on Tree to give them that initial man advantage to work with throughout the entire process. Crashy certainly put up a valiant effort there, anchoring that B side, but was not allowed to pop off quite enough. And so Renegades will jump back up now. 5-4 is the score. Operators now on both sides. Curious to see Winsome with the operator. Normally this is kind of Retro's role on the team, but with him playing the Sage, they'll give it over to Winsome on the raise. So he'll start sliding up towards Tree.
Two on the push towards main. Should get spotted out by that turret as they do take that one down. It does give Randy Savage a bit of information, and somebody might be playing aggressive here from Envy. It is going to be Food caught out, spotted, but the retreat comes through, and everybody not unscathed, but they do make it away. Now another mid push coming out from Renegades. Boombot going to go into the back of the site again. It's an aggressive push with that operator, looking to peek towards the spawn. There goes the Hawk, able to find the stun onto one, or the flash onto one. FSO able to pick that kill up, holding steady towards Logs, and Crashes on this site. We saw him go good for 2. Can he do it again? Perez trying to even the odds. Crashes goes good for 2. Can he find some more? Through the wall. Yes, he can. He finds 3. Strong Legs trades it back. And now we find ourselves in a 2v2 with the spike being planted once more.
Yeah, the op's gonna be in maybe. Oh, wait, I gotta see that again. I thought Winsome was gonna get in a crafty position, but I think he got caught by Mummy, who was still in these back halls to put Strong Legs in an almost impossible 1v2. He's gonna get run through the blender. Envy will tie this up at 5 apiece, and my goodness, how quickly that went south for Renegades. It looked so good early. They were able to detect that double push at A lobby. That means that they had the intel, that they had a vulnerable B side ahead of them. They were able to start the initial take, limit Finesse to a kill, but then Crashies again good for a multi-frag to keep his team in the race, and then Mummy just pops off. This was wild. I wonder how this happened. I guess when Winsome boosted up top, he got spotted over the roof. Unfortunately, we didn't catch it there on the replay, but you feel like that was the X factor of the round.
Yeah. Absolutely. It puts you in such an awkward spot, right? Where now you're in a 1v2 and you could just get pinched. You're not really safe in the back of sight. I don't think there's any utility available.
Right.
Man, you know what? I'm not shaking my head either way because we are knotted up at 5s, and this is exactly what we wanted to see from this series. Competitive Valorant through and through, especially here in the in the quarterfinals, excuse me. I mean, and what better way to earn your spot in those close qualifiers as those smokes come down? It's looking like an A hit here from Renegades, but the economy, I think it's Frenzies, Classics, it's not looking great.
No, far from ideal. Now we are going to see the orbital strike really put the pressure on Renegades here in the street position. Caboose good for a couple. Renegades will make their way into sight with Spike, but Envy's rotation's already here at the Heaven position. And they're connecting the dots just fine, leaving CP2 by his lonesome. He gets the jump on the Finesse, but Crashies is right there to collect the trade. So that will be another round to Envy. Now with the lead at 6-5, they've won quite a lot here. If it wasn't for winning Pistol and getting the 3-0 start, Renegades actually would have been in a lot of trouble. I feel like Envy have actually responded well in the defense to handle Renegades' aggression. And I think a lot of it, honestly, has come down to Crashies anchoring that B side so effectively. But we've also seen Caboose and Mummy in particular really put the defense on this A side as well.
Yeah, I want to know where Crashes is at, if there is a list of top riflers, because in this game, on this Sova has been looking insane, winning so many gun battles, and most importantly, 2 rounds were very clutch situations where he was able to, at the very least, even the odds or put his team ahead.
I really do think that, I mean, when you think about like top supportive players, and particularly Sova's, I mean, Sinatra's kind of in his own weird island where he's not really a support player as Sova. He's just like a crazy X Factor, and he's probably considered the best, maybe Sova in the region. But when you talk about like supporting their teammates, I really feel Crashies and like EU from Energy and a couple of others are like really the names that leap out to me. So Crashies is definitely up there, in my opinion, as one of those guys that just does his job and supports his teammates so well to allow other people to be like the stars, while he kind of quietly, also consistently frags out and handles all the responsibilities that you want a Sova to do.
Now, slow start here. We were seeing the explosive Renegades earlier in this, but being down 6-5 has since slowed them down. Once more, there's going to be that lockdown play out over towards A. Mummy is here, though, and it's the operator in hand to find a kill. Caboose as well. The Empress goes on, but a kill traded back. Means RNG only down 1. The ultimates are available for Envy, though. There's just so many. A Neural Theft, a From the Shadows, a Run It Back. And what better time to use them than the last round in the half, as the Swarm Grenade's going to buy some time, but I'm not too sure if it's enough.
Yeah, Mummy's going to go ahead and use that to reposition over towards Wines to give them an alternate angle to take this free take, Run It Back, used to burst the wall. But Retro collects Finesse, and now Envy find themselves behind, but only for a moment. Crashies takes the lead right back. And now it's all on Retro, boxed in the sight, no chance as Envy coordinate that retake to perfection, maximizing their utility to jump up to 7-5. And again, that 3-0 start was really the big story for Renegades. Outside of that, it was pretty lights out from Envy.
Switching sides.
Yeah, it was the 3-0 start, then Envy grab around, but Renegades steal it back right after. So you're thinking, okay, maybe. Like, now we're seeing why they picked this map. At the end of the day, though, going into the half, Envy come out on top, and Renegades have to mount the most stout defense against what I think was considered at one point one of the, if not the most consistent team in North America in Envy. So really anything can happen, but map number 1, I think, is really going to set the precedence here, and Envy are on top. Now we get to see how Strong Legs and friends, how this double Sentinel with the Sage composition is going to work on defense, because that wall does get a bit of value.
Yeah, again, with Envy on the attacking side of Ascent, they're kind of back to their roots with Caboose back on the Reyna and away from the Omen, and Mummy taking that back. I mean, this is like a composition you used to see them kind of playing even before First Strike. What's really kind of what they built their Ascent on was this particular composition where they have, you know, Finesse being that Cypher lurk, always constantly putting pressure and getting information at B lobby. The rest looking to take mid control, threatening market, threatening tree, and just being able to bounce off of that into some explosive mid to late round executes. Obviously, Pistol you have less to work with, though. And look at this from Renegades. They are pouncing on all fronts, and they are hitting the dot every single time. They have absolutely swept through this round. Finesse is probably just sitting over there and B-Link wondering what the hell just happened.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was in Renegades fashion. It's not what I was expecting on defense, but they just swarm mid and lock it down.
Yes, they did. So Sky Flash is setting everything up, man. It allowed them to strike from mid-arch, cat, I mean, just everything all at once. And in those chaotic moments, it's hard to communicate what to focus on and win. Whereas Renegades, they're used to that. They kind of thrive in those situations. And yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow if you're Envy. That's both pistols going the way of Renegades.
But if history repeats itself, obviously that didn't amount to too much because Envy still came out in the half. And it's a force here. I believe I saw Crashies. Well, no, maybe an actual... No, okay, it is a force. Some armor, some frenzies, a sheriff.
There's no stingers, but I mean, they have all the upgraded pistols, so definitely a pretty big investment. They have been slowed down by the wall and the Killjoy turret, but now they start to make their way into the site here. Coming up through generator side. They will get the plant. It's going to be a full-on retake here from Renegades. One of those classic 5-on-5s in the post plant.
A classic 5-on-5, the showdown.
No ults.
Yeah, nothing really to work
go.
with here. Nice flash to come on through. Crash, he's able to spray one down. We've seen him go good for a couple, but instead it's RNG to trade him right back. Food on the board, even the odds, but Strong Leg is able to grab one for himself, but back and forth we go. Renegades, in the midst of everything, will end up closing it out. And I think I saw a satchel kill there.
Bro, there was a whole lot of stuff going on there. Who really knows? As literally all 5 Renegades members just come trouncing out of heaven off of a stalk.
The old waterfall.
Yeah, just raining men hallelujah, I guess, over there. Too many blanks on the dance floor if you're a Flight of the Conchords fan. But that's when I find out how much of a boomer I am.
Yeah, that one's beyond me.
It's like a comedy band. So, I mean, they're still kind of popular now. You should go look them up on YouTube. They have a couple of good tunes that you'll probably crack a laugh at.
We have a moment here because you claim to be a boomer. Can we out ourselves? Is that no? Hang on. Let's hang on to this because Food looking to get crazy. CP2 trades it back, but onto Caboose instead. We're all knotted up in rounds. We're all knotted up in players here, but Crashies again finding heads. Strong Legs falls, and that is so much utility. And like you kind of pointed out, without the Sova, you don't get a whole lot. Well, now with the remaining 3, how do you get any information for Renegades?
You don't. You have to either play aggressive or you just have to gamble stack and hope for the best. As Savage is trying to play this angle, but Crashies lights him out. Retro just stuck between a literal rock and a hard place. A rock made of ice. As Food will sweep through for the finishing touches of the round. That's going to put Envy up again, 8-7. Haven't really let Renegades fall into a tie or a lead too long. Other than when it was like 3-0 at the beginning of the first half, Envy has been right on their heels and ahead of them. One of the two.
Gosh. You give him an inch and Crashies takes a mile there finding that kill. Granted, it was against the Sheriff, but
he's a pretty good player.
Headshot for headshot. Yeah, absolutely insane. It's a name that I'm not going to be able to say, so I apologize, Twitch chat. You might think that I'm riding the hype train.
What can't you say?
Just Crashies, 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 Crashies.
You nailed it every time. What do you mean?
No. Not allowed to say, because then I'll be you know what? Let's just avoid that conversation.
That one just flew way over my head. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. It must be my dementia or something. Yeah. Boomer. But either way, we are going to see Envy looking to strike quick here on the A site against the ecoing Renegades. The classic of Retro does find one, but that's about it so far. Meanwhile, Finesse, he's found Winsome hopping around, and he's going to pick up on the flank. Brilliant awareness there from Finesse, not to allow his Vandal to swap hands, leaving CP2 with the Stinger to try to be the one to do it. He will indeed find Finesse out here towards the fountain, so he'll be able to pick up that Vandal. He is going to get chased, though, I think. Crashies was right in behind him there, but they're playing pretty disciplined. They're not overreaching.
Yeah, and CP2 was looking to do something crazy there. Unfortunately, he does get sniped out by a Paranoia, but he had the credits to just send it in that round, and that's exactly what he did.
Mommy was cheesing that Paranoia through like 3 walls to set Caboose up. That was well done. Kind of an expected round, though, from Envy, if we're honest. The full buy, though, now in effect. Again, interesting to see Winsome being the opper. I haven't watched this team since Strong Lage joined. They started swapping around their compositions. But I'm always used to, like, Retro being that opper, you know, on the Jet in particular. But, again, he's been kind of more and more away from that lately. They're looking to get aggressive at A lobby with that op.
That flash goes out. Winsome, so much damage on the way back. Now, it doesn't mean a whole lot because that op should sit somebody down in one shot. So 20 HP or 150 HP, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is the B site starting to get open wide up. The Venn diagram not going to get any value there, though.
He gets the entry and he burns both nanoswarms, and he takes not one lick of damage. You want to know why? Because Reyna. Because dismiss.
There ain't much to say about it.
Bro, I don't know of more tilting things in video games than dismissing Reyna. It just gives you that lower gut pain because you know there's not jack you can do about it.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
It is. So Winsome was once on 20 HP. He had since been healed up, but again, it doesn't really matter where he's at as long as he has the op. He's able to find the one-shot kills, and that's able to pick that one up. Nice flash. Gonna push Crashes away. Caboose, though, has since made his way all the way through that B site and might just be... the spike's actually coming too. He says, hey, guys, it's free over here.
Well, they also had the neural theft that knew that it was clear. So that double insurance policy, I guess you could say, having the 4 position on the site and having the neural theft to confirm, means that Envy really should be finding a 10th round here.
They're running out of time, though. 10 seconds. They have to send it.
Yep. They did. They sent it. It's yeeted fully.
Yeah, absolutely. As is Caboose. Winsome grabs another. But finesse on the backside. Mummy on the site. The pincer once more from Envy. RNG, excuse me. Still struggling.
It's okay, buddy.
Words are hard. Words are hard.
Words can sometimes be difficult. Yeah, that's true. Especially when you're having to say a lot of them in rapid succession in front of tens of thousands of people on the internet. So, and then you have to listen to them yell at you. That's why I just stay out of. That's why I just stay out of it. Let's focus on the game, as it's been a great one. Great first serious kickoff today, and this one certainly, you know, doing pretty good to contest. Renegades really struggling here once again. Low economy. They're trying to get a little bit aggressive on both sides of the map. Both have been shut down so far. And indeed, it gets worse as Caboose finds his kill. And right when you think he's going to get punished, he just moonwalks out of there, setting up for Ness for the double kill and a free B site. Oh, my.
Caboose, the smooth criminal, making his way on out.
Is that too boomer? Or surely not, right? People know that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well known.
I mean, this game is rated M, right? So if you don't know that, you're probably just too young to even be watching.
True. Now, Randy Savage picked up 2 kills with the Sheriff and upgraded. Economy, you have that full loss bonus, right? So could ultimately go for it, but it looks like he's just going to hang on to this one. Maybe he likes the Reaver skin over whatever he's hanging on to.
I mean, at the end of the day,
inventory.
Like, they're the same value, a Vandal and a max loss bonus, so
true.
Kind of pick your poison. I think it's worth it just to chill.
Ooh, does he hang on to it, though? Envy on right the hunt here. Oh, there is an op at his feet.
That's more, yeah, he wants to have the Vandal for now, but if he can escape, he wants to pick that up.
I wonder if Envy knew that that operator was there just to go on the hunt, to not only find the kill, but to deny that operator pickup.
I'm sure they knew it was possible. And they have money to blow to go chasing in a situation like that, so fair enough, as this is just so criminal, man. Look at this. What's up, buddy? And he spots the player on the corner, too, because they just completely busted the crossfire off of one Reyna dismiss with the initial kill. That's a nightmare.
Oh, okay. So, so Randy Savage somehow, someway kills the operator there with the Sheriff. So Envy knew well that there is an operator somewhere on the map, and he's probably headed for that. So going on the hunt was the play, and it ends up working out, so they picked that one back up. But like you noted, their economy's sitting pretty. Renegades, unfortunately, not in the same boat as Paranoia. Just forced everybody back. No play on the back end, and the Spike's still hanging out outside B.
Absolutely. No commitment from Envy, but they already have some solid map control by putting the pressure on B lobby this early. They're even forcing the door to shut here, forcing some rotations out of Renegades, while they still have Crashies playing at that A main position. So they still have all their options open to them. Looks like they probably are going to look to put some mid control out there, maybe put some A pressure. Retro's about to wall off that catwalk, though, so that's going to kind of cut off that tree option for them. They're going to be more sold now towards A main. The drone will lead the way. That means there's no wall to block this main archway. As they clear out line, get some good intel. Slow order forced out of Retro there to try to put a halt to an A push. And now, of course, Envy knows that there's 2 players here.
And, I mean, okay, the wall is going to get some value. I thought since Caboose was so far that the wall might be down when he looked to rotate as the run it back comes through, able to down the turret, so utility following the nano swarms, burns down the Phoenix, but not enough. Food still finds the kill. The rest of the team trying to come on through, but Retro trades it back and finds the res. Renegades in a 5v4, but they're all stacked up here. This is a bad spot to be. This is a bad spot to be for Food. He's got the curveball in his hands. Now Crashy is going to go back to his ways. He's popping grapes. He's disappearing. And Retro needs to find something huge here. Has the heal, has a slow orb, able to catch Crashies. Unfortunately, not able to catch him soon enough. He had his bow out, but he's able to pull out the Vandal. He's able to close out the round, and Envy will go to match point.
That was so awkward. Just literally all of Renegades are sitting in that one spot at tree. They get the res off, and Food, he gets his entry, and then he comes up a second time, and he's probably wondering, what in the world? Like, but what it also did for them was it allowed them to take heaven control. Because I know everyone's kind of sitting there when Food pushes through and dies, and they just feel confident the rest of the side's clear. And then Crashies gets into heaven and backstabs Window. That's a nightmare if you're Renegades at that point. Like, you just forfeited so much of what you need to retake. A guy's getting caught his pants down deploying a smoke. Like, it's just, I mean, everything that could go wrong went wrong, I feel like, in that process. As Envy did, again, a great job putting that pressure on B, forcing, you know, the players there to respect that it could be a B hit. And then you see Envy pivot, what they're so good at doing, that misdirection, and being able to just be decisive when need be. Great run it back from Food to get them some space, get the site, and yeah, they take care of business. And again, it's really the pistols that have kept Renegades in this game. I feel like Envy have been the dominant force through the bulk of this match, as I think was kind of the expectation. But yeah, I'm you know, happy what I'm seeing so far from Envy.
Yeah, and like you said, kind of to be expected. I think Renegades, a team that has had some really strong performances, but with changes coming on through now, I guess everybody is trying to prove themselves.
It's not just one change. It's the other thing you have to mention. Like, yeah, it's one roster change, but it's a complete overhaul of their composition with Retro swapping from Jet to Sage. You know, you have CP2 swapping away from Sova and such to play Brimstone. Like, there's a lot of moving parts in Renegades with Strongliz coming on board.
And I think that feels like, for the most part, minus a couple of teams, that's the 2021 way for Valorant. There have been a lot of, whether it be player changes as far as rosters go, or role changes, role swaps inside of rosters. There's been a whole lot of it, and there's a whole lot of proving now to be done.
I mean, in a game like this, there's going to always be like attempts at innovation, you know, experimenting with things, you know, trying to cover gaps in your map pool by trying to come up with new ways to approach it with the agent pool, as opposed to maybe just completely changing how you attack. So there's a lot more moving parts in that regard for sure. So we are going to see Envy already have control of A main here, looking to work their way up tree as well. So once again, looking for this fast-paced A split. Smoke's already on heaven. Drone already spotting out the up-close raise.
Oh, and it was a Bucky to be sat down by Food, playing Caboose on the board too. The tactical pause, it doesn't amount to a whole lot. And
oh my, look at this.
If you didn't see it, it was a very weak buy coming out from Renegades. Not everybody was able to get a full arsenal, and they do have a lockdown, but this is a very, very tall task for this squad. And Caboose just goes hunting.
Dude, they have so much control on Envy side. Yeah. They even had their Phoenix coming through spawn. Like, I mean, Renegades are well and truly screwed.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can expect here. Retro's able to find the flank on the backside. Still needs to be wary of Caboose. And a 2v4 doable. Oh, a 2v3 even more so as that lockdown comes through. Hunter's Fury is going to trade out to take that one down. And now it's all up to Retro on the Sage. It's not enough. It's Caboose to close it out. And Envy will grab